What's going on? Dylan Conrad, metabolic as fuck. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to lose body fat in 2023 with your training program. Before I get into that, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on, Spotify, iTunes, bell button, notifications, all that stuff. Super helpful. All helps the algorithm. Helps me help more people like you. I apologize for the clutter in the background. I got like my dog's dog food bag, tripod, wires, headphones, stuff like that. My ankle's broken, so I'm not really, as clean as I really am. I'm really disciplined in that. Someone asked me for a picture. There's your picture. It's splinted right now. A little update on my ankle because I know you guys don't give a shit whatsoever. I had to go into the back to the doctor yesterday because my calf was swollen like a balloon. I'd still been like super active and working out, obviously not putting any pressure on the leg. But it was like the swelling was not going down. So they're like, yo, chill, get on your bed and like lift your leg up. So, begrudgingly I'm doing that, which sucks. But, going to orthopedist, not this Friday, next Friday, get the cast on. I have my little scooter bike, so I don't have to use crutches anymore, which is going to be clutch. I'm excited for that because going around like gym and in crutches at Gold's Gym Venice, that gym is like 1 million square feet. It's hard getting in and out and everywhere. Anyways, I'm going to shut up about my ankle. I put some notes here because you guys know I ramble. But this is basically how to use your training to lose body fat in 2023. And first off, disclaimer, right? 80% nutrition. If your nutrition's not dialed in, there's no point in really attacking this, right? But if you are in the process of dialing nutrition and nutrition's dialed in right now, this would be a great thing to layer in. And I always talk about layering in habits. When you focus on just one habit at a time, you're going to have a lot higher success rate in getting that habit down. You're going to have a lot higher success rate of keeping that habit long term, keeping it sustainable. Yes, it is not sexy whatsoever to like go take baby steps, but it's what works. And if you look at the stat that 95% of diets fail, that's one big reason that 95% of them fail. So if you want to be part of the 5%, layer in the habits just like I teach you here, and you'll have ultimate success. So progressive overload. What is progressive overload? Your body is going to adapt to whatever stimulus you're putting on it eventually, right? You keep exposing your body to the same stimulus, the same training, or the same nutrition. Your body's going to eventually plateau and you will no longer see results. What are those results? Fat loss, muscle gain, hormone optimization, stuff like that, okay? We're talking about fat loss here. So we need to have some sort of progressive overload in our fat loss program. And what that means is week to week, month to month, you want to go through these phases that your workout is getting more and more tough. Now, the first way we're going to do it is just actually building out your training program, because I'm not going to have you guys go 0 to 60. I'm going to layer this in, okay? And if I had to go back and do this in time differently for myself, this is exactly how I do it. And this is how I layer it in for all my clients. So in terms of foundation one of creating your fat loss program, the first thing you want to focus on is just steps, getting your step count up. Now, everyone talks about 10,000 steps and why that number is that number. I don't know. I don't care what your steps are. I want you to figure out what a realistic step count is, right? So like what you feel like you can actually get throughout the day. And if it's lower than like 5,000, 6,000, you probably want to consider getting a treadmill desk. Now, before you get your arms up in a bunch, there's treadmill desks out there for like $100. You probably go on Craigslist and find used ones for like $50. So it's a great investment. You can do it while you work or while you're talking on the phone or watching TV, whatever it is. You can just get it, put it under your desk, and you're good to go. Now, if you don't have a standing desk, they have a lot of different things that you can put. I even used boxes back in the day to just stack my laptop on top of, okay? So that's number one, is getting that step count. Why we're going to focus on steps first? Because one, it's the easiest thing we can do. Like, no one's like, oh my God, walking so hard, right? It's freaking easy. There's no friction. You can go outside and do it, especially now since this is summer. Yes, you have to be a little bit more, especially if you live in like a hotter climate or super humid East Coast, or like, in the South where it's very hot this time of the year. Yeah, you'll have to time it a little better with like morning and evening, but it's a great thing to do with your family. It's easy to do. And it is great for cortisol reduction, and it is great for just getting overall calories out, okay? So we want to make you a metabolic furnace here, and that's going to be step number one. Foundation number two is going to be getting into your mobility and your stability routine, right? So your body, it has a way it's created in terms of what muscles should be nice and stable and like strong, and what should be more mobile, right? So if you think of ankles, because I just broke mine, that is like a more mobile joint, right? You want mobility there. If you don't have enough ankle mobility, your knees will start hurting, right? So you want to make sure you have enough mobility and stability in the right areas to make sure that longevity is going to be number one, because there's no point in creating a training program if you're just going to get injured, or if you're going to have muscle imbalances or movement imbalances that you're not even going to hit the right muscle anyways, right? So creating that mobility and stability routine, I recommend daily, but you can do this, if you're planning on training like 3 to 4 times a week, just do 3 to 4 times a week without doing the training first, okay? Number 3, this is where we're going to layer in the foundation of your actual strength training. You might be thinking there, I'm not trying to build muscle. Well, I can't tell you and how many people are like, I lost all this weight before, and my friends just said I look sick. They said I looked emaciated. Like, I got questions about I had cancer. Dude, it's because you lost all your fucking muscle. Like, you lost all your muscle, you look sick, right? No one's going to say if you were super duper lean and had a little bit more muscle, you're going to look healthy, you're going to look fit. No one's going to ask you if you're sick. So the reason that people said that is because you lost all your muscle or you just didn't have enough muscle. So that's number 1, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten women to like 15% body fat, or I've gotten men to under 10% body fat. They're like, dude, I have no muscle. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude. That's why I've been trying to push on making that strength training. And I don't even, like, it's like, I don't even have that conversation. It's just like, we're putting it in there no matter what, okay? Strength training, whether that's functional or hypertrophy or metabolic hypertrophy or like power building, whatever it is, we're going to create some sort of strength training, and this is going to be great for your long-term joint health, okay? This is also amazing for your hormone optimization. So if you're a woman, we're talking about estrogen, we're talking about testosterone, we're talking about cortisol. If you're a man, we're talking about testosterone, cortisol. Like, those are the main ones, okay? Women also thyroid. Big one. So that's what we're going to layer in there. Strength training, I'm not talking about like going to your freaking gym class where they say it's strength training because you're lifting weights, but it's actually just glorified cardio with weights, which is actually very dangerous for you. You want to lift, if I'm talking like an RPE, rate of perceived exertion, like how hard do you feel like you're pushing yourself, you want to push at, week 1, like a 7 out of 10, week 4 or 5 of the program that you're doing, like a 9 or 10 out of 10, right? And so that's how we're going to layer in your strength training. And then you want to have rest periods. So you hit the exercise at a 7 out of 10 RPE, you rest for 60, 90 seconds, depending on like what you're training, right? You can also superset upper lower, where you need like more like 45 seconds-ish rest. But yeah, so strength training 3 to 4 times a week, that's going to be optimal. 5 days a week, you start cutting into recovery unless you sleep a ton and like you have no stress in your life, cool, do it. But if not, if you're like a regular human, shout out to you if you're not a regular human, by the way. Like, I want your life. Can I trade you? Hit me up. Okay, so that's going to be foundation number 3, which is strength training. Now we're going to layer in your high intensity interval training. And this isn't going to be your butchered high intensity interval training like we talk about in classes, like those Metcon classes at your gym, CrossFit. Those aren't HIIT. That is just a high intensity interval training is basically we're going really, really high intensity and then you are resting for a good amount of period of time. And all the research is actually done from sprinters, which were sprinting like 10 or 20 seconds, because that's the amount of time that you can stay in that for a you can stay in that high intensity state that you can go all out. You can only maintain it for those 20 seconds. You can't keep like sprinting as fast as you can. You start slowing down and then it's not as intense, right? So high intensity interval training, whether that's Tabatas, like 20 seconds, on an air bike, or you can even do it like on a regular bike, or a sprint outside, 10 seconds or more rest, right? Or if that's like a circuit and you're doing 3 things in a circuit, you're timing yourself, say all 3 of those things took 2 minutes, you're going to take a 2-minute rest, right? So you can play around with the work to rest ratios, but you want to make sure your heart rate's getting very high and that's getting very low. This is amazing for your recovery and actually your cognitive focus, okay? So later in that high intensity interval training, I do these post strength training, okay? The last thing is recovery cardio. So I'm talking about that is like more like an incline walk, maybe a hike outside that's like a little more intense than a walk. Something that you want to think about is like you're kind of breathing a little bit hard, but you can hold a conversation. 20 to 40 minutes, post workout or just on your off days is totally fine. And this is going to allow you to get more out of your workouts and for your body to adapt to those workouts that you're putting on. Okay. This is how you're going to become a metabolic furnace. Okay, layer in one step at a time. Once you have all 5 of these foundations, all you want to do is basically build out your program, 4 to 6 week blocks, and you want to increase something each week, whether you're increasing the intensity of the exercise by increasing the weight, or maybe you're decreasing the rest period, obviously, or more time under tension. You want to do like a 3 second up, 3 second down, something like that. So there's some sort of progression coming up. The easiest way to do it is just going up in weight. But I don't want you to get married to progressive overload in terms of going up in weight, because you are going to hit a plateau and eventually start hitting your joints and your tendons, and I'll get into that maybe on a later podcast. But this is how to use training to lose body fat in 2023. I hope it was super helpful for you. Please like, subscribe, ask any questions you have. I'm more than happy to answer them. I personally answer all my questions. My Instagram's @Dylan A. Conrad. Love y'all. Happy whatever day you're watching this on.